Welcome back to the breakdown. That was the Hush sound, actually. And again, I'm going to go all music on you. The Hush sound doesn't get enough recognition. They don't get played enough. They are an amazing band. So if you like that, look them up. Now we're going to talk about awards. Well, let's see. Golden Globes, they happened and everything. Up won Best Animated, which you could kind of figure was going to win Best Animated. I mean, it was up against like Coraline, and Coraline was good. Don't get me wrong, Coraline was good and like kind of odd and weird in kind of a Tim Burton-y fashion without ripping off Tim Burton. And so you kind of had that, but my problem with Coraline is kind of the problem I have with like the movies where kid finds this fantastical world. Only, I mean, it was real in Coraline, like the place that she went to that was all weird was real, and so that was nice, but there was still that kind of painfully obvious lesson that she needed to be learning. But my issue was that her parents really needed a lesson more than anything else, because in the beginning, I mean, she had these parents that just like completely ignored her and told her literally to go away, and so they were kind of terrible. And then Coraline's the one to go on an adventure and learn a lesson, and I'm like, can the parents find an alternate universe? Can they just kind of learn not to be such douchebags? That would be kind of nice. I would really like to see that movie. Then I started thinking that I would really like to see that movie. Why can't the parents find some fantastical universe to go off and like frolic in and like learn some good like lesson about parenting? Like, why haven't we seen that movie? That would be an awesome take on that kind of like fantasy premise. That would be amazing. I would pay to see that like in a heartbeat. That would be awesome. That's really what Coraline kind of should have done in this case, because the parents were just borderline like neglectful. They were just like, oh, you're kind of here and stuff, but we don't really care. And then Coraline's the one to learn the lesson. Doesn't quite make much sense. So, Coraline was there and, creative and kind of twisted, and we need more twisted things in entertainment, if you ask me. And so, that was kind of that, but I knew it wasn't going to win any awards. And then you have Cloudy and the Chance with Meatballs that just kind of came and went. And just really, the nominees weren't going to hold a candle to Up. And really, anything put out by Disney Pixar, really tough chance of surpassing that. If Disney Pixar's in the running, you're probably screwed. And Up will most likely be nominated for Best Picture because, they allow like 25,000 people to be nominated instead of the normal 5 now. So, he'll probably slide in, get nominated for Best Picture. Not actually win, because, well, it's a family film. I'd be really, really shocked if an animated feature actually won the Oscar for Best Picture. Pretty damn shocked. But, well, I don't know. 2009 is a slow year. They might actually, win when they're inevitably nominated. Inevitably nominated. I can speak, you guys, I promise. And, it might happen. It could. It's definitely going to get nominated. And nothing else is really all that fabulous. Oh. I kind of might take back that statement. Up might kind of have a running this year. And that would be kind of nice to see an animated feature win. It's kind of something to keep an eye on. Anyway, Glee won Best Comedy Show, or Best Show of Comedy or Musical. And for those of you who don't know about Glee's kind of an oddball, and I love oddballs. I have a big soft spot for oddballs. Glee is a musical show, so it actually does fit in the comedy/musical category because it's a comedy/musical. And I'm so happy that they won the Golden Globe for Best Show, because really, the shit like 30 Rock and all that crap that's not really all that fabulous and not really terribly funny that just keeps winning all these awards, really annoying. So it's nice to see something like Glee, which is, the oddball, kind of come through and take home a big award. And Glee is like a musical comedy with drama and just all these different characters that some, are kind of stereotypical and others are kind of unique, but they're doing more unique things than they are stereotypical things, which is nice. And it is actually funny. This show kind of has a biting wit when it wants to, especially in the character of Sue Sylvester, who's kind of like the arch nemesis of the Glee Club, and because she's the coach of like the cheerleaders who like win all these competitions. And so, of course, by the way, this takes place in a high school, in case you didn't already guess. And so she's the one that really gets to lay on like the really out there, like kind of on the edge type humor and like stuff that you wouldn't even really think of. Like the best line from Sue Sylvester in the first half of season 1, which, has already aired. Best line from her is when she's threatening Will Schuester, who is, the head of the Glee Club. She's threatening him, and she's like, I'm going to buy you a kitty, and I'm going to let you fall in love with that kitty. And then one day, I am going to sneak into your house in the dead of the night, and I'm going to punch you in the face. And she says it with such conviction, and you have no idea where she's going with it. I was on the freaking floor. She is the funniest part of Glee. And she's just one of like many, many different characters. I mean, the guy who heads the Glee Club, Will Schuester, is absolutely precious. And he's, his plot line has involved him and his wife who is terrifying. She's one of those like very manipulative, very like passive aggressive, but kind of does it all with this innocent face. And oh god, she's so evil, but she's not evil in the way that Sue Sylvester's evil. Like Sue Sylvester is just like classic villain, and meanwhile Will Schuester's wife Terry is just kind of evil, but kind of with the best intentions. She's a bit more of like complex evil, whereas Sue Sylvester is pretty much cut and dry. I'm going to be the evil bitch of this series, and you are going to love me for being it. And Terry, she thinks she's pregnant, finds out she's not, but keeps lying to Will anyway. And that's kind of their story arc, is that she's trying to keep up the lie, and Will kind of has no idea what's going on. And it makes for such great drama and such great opportunities to just really hate Terry. Like when she gets onto Will for not doing something, and then like she cites like her baby as like the reason for anything. It's like, you're just not doing enough for the baby. You just want to punch her in the face. And she does it so well. Everybody in this show is so great at the roles that they've been cast in. Oh, the cast was perfect. And they picked up the SAG Award for Best Ensemble. And that really made me happy because, God, as an entire cast, they are wonderful. This show, even though it gets pretty cheesy every now and then, most of the time, especially with the musical numbers, is when they decide to really kind of go, whoa, cheese factor. It's still just kind of like, okay. It's like, I know that these people were competent enough to choose that kind of the corny, hokey moments consciously, and not just kind of, stumble onto them and they're like doing their best and it just comes off as cheese. Like, this was a conscious decision. It's all part of the style of the show, which again is very, very oddball. And so you kind of accept the cheesy parts and you're like, oh, well, okay. And they sing a whole bunch of covers because, Glee, which is show choir, and so there's show tunes, but then they're also mixing in some like new and current stuff, and they're getting there. They're getting kind of all over the board. And there have been some that were better than others. As with any musical, there are songs that are better than others. But the one that was really just kind of felt like tacked on, they did Lily Allen's song "Smile," but because one of the characters was trying to teach the other how to smile properly for the yearbook photo, only the song Lily Allen "Smile" is not about that at all. It's about kind of smiling when you find out that an ex is doing badly, and you're like, it's that kind of thing. And so it just kind of didn't work. But that's one of the very, very few missteps that this show has had. And it really, really deserved a good, strong year of awards, because they're only halfway through